OFK follows a group of 4 friends in LA as they meet up, form relationships, start a band, end relationships, and try to navigate the pitfalls that come with starting a band and managing real life in modern day LA. The main cast is made up of pianist Itsumi, who works PR for a game developer and is escaping a bad breakup, struggling lyricist Luca, who's the law writer for the same developer, producer Jay, who's constantly trying to do what she wants in the face of a huge industry that seems only interested in churn, and visual artist Carter, who codes for a VFX company and is dealing with depression. As you can see, the art style is a striking combination of bright pastel colours and cel shading, with an emphasis on cinematography that helps it blur the line between TV shows, visual novels and interactive EPs. The scene settings are well detailed and distinct, giving each place its own vibe. The art direction really stands out in the music videos at the end of each episode. They're a perfect accompaniment to the music and help the tracks land. I did have some graphical issues on the Switch, and there was one genuinely confusing moment in one of the later chapters where Itsumi's ex comes back in and the devs have clearly just reskinned the model for Luca to use as her character. The problem is, it's not done very well, so I believed it was Luca for a full 20 minutes until he stepped into the scene alongside her. It was such a moment of jarring laziness, I wound up having to replay the episode as I missed what was going on. The voice acting is great, it's exceptionally well done and superbly directed. Each voice lines up perfectly with the character and all the proper subtlety and nuance are there. This is the one area the devs needed to nail and they got it perfectly. I see a lot of issues with the dialogue stemming from how light and fluffy it can be at times. With a cast of hip, trendy 20-somethings in LA, the script is going to have a fair number of people bouncing off it and deriding it as vapid idiocy, but the silliness is what cements it for me as it suits the setting and the characters. They're a group of friends communicating via text and in-jokes. To someone who's not part of the group, you, it would look silly. And try showing some of your friend group chats to someone who isn't in that group and see their reaction. It'll probably be the same.
What, you in music too?
Yeah, producer. Dance music, but a little darker than this.
Ooh, anything I would know?
Maybe. Not my own stuff, though. I mostly do vocal engineering at Sycamore Studios. But worked on a few pop songs that got radio play.
That's so hot.
What?
Well, I mean, that's so...
Itsu, this house has lawn games. Did you see?
Luca, hi, Luca, hey, it's my friend Luca.
Hi, I'm Luca. Jay? Oh my god, how are you? What are you... Sorry, Itsu, Jay was my TA in college. The fuck? This is wild, what are you doing here?
No girls on this one. Should we eject him too?
I can't believe they broke up.
Yeah, I saw them play in Brooklyn last year and it ended up being their final show.
The main focus of each character is how they balance their life needs with their artistic choices. Itsumi is in a rut and is trying to improve her piano skills for a recital alongside the band while confronting the fact that she's not dealt with her breakup very well by getting plastered again and again. Luca feels creatively restricted by his job, is also suffering from writer's block, and is trying to get over the imposter syndrome that occurs when you call yourself an artist but aren't producing any art. Jay is a producer of some renown but is dealing with overbearing parents who constantly berate her about how much she's earning and see little value in her art. And Carter, well, not a lot is done with Carter despite them being very clearly depressed and apparently such a skilled coder that they're able to create Debug, a holographic cat that also serves as the band's mascot. Even the fact that chapter 4 focuses solely on them and their past, nothing comes of it. It doesn't go anywhere and the resolution is so tame it ends up with Carter just reprogramming an aspect of Debug and breaking it. And that's it. Also, by the way, Debug is an awful addition to the cast and is very clearly only there for merch purposes and to give Carter something to do while the others are busy being interesting and driving the story forward. When you're at the point where you're adding in sentient AI holograms, you really want to make sure you stick the landing. Also, the constant betrayal of the industries that they're trying to break into is staffed almost entirely by moronic feckless cretins gets grating after a while. The famous musician Jay works for is almost totally focused on clout and has so little regard for the quality of the music that it crosses the line into parody. This is highlighted in one scene where he travels to the studio to complain to Jay that the new song sounds weak, and when Jay points out that the vocalist he forced on her doesn't suit the song, which is why she had to flatten it out so much, he immediately glosses over it by stating that the point of using her was for social media traction. If that was the whole point, why did he open up with the comment about the sound quality? He doesn't give a fuck. For the most part, I quite like the characters. They're all real, quirky and unashamedly gay. It's rare to see a game that's as queer as fuck as this, and I am all for it. It helps the narrative stay on track and focuses the story. Plus, it means we're not having every character regale us longingly about their coming out story and its effects, etc, etc. These characters know who they are, it's what they want and what they're willing to do to get it, which is where the story lies, as it should be. The cast is compelling enough to bring you back for more, and I liked how respectful the game is with your time, giving run times for each episode so you know just how long you'll be playing for. All this is what makes the ending so underwhelming. I'm not going into spoiler territory here, but it was a proper "that's it" moment for me, and seriously undermined all the impact the game has been building up until then.
What you need, baby?
Another tequila energy.
You're so brave.
I've not focused on the gameplay because there is none really. There's so little here, even by visual novel standards. None of what you do or say affects the story in the slightest, and there's no alternative endings. The game is a loose vehicle for the music, and the music sections are by far and away the best part of the game. Despite being a lifelong metalhead, I am a sucker for a good pop song, and these tunes are bangers, with the standout track being the second song, Fool's Gold. But there are issues here as well. Lots of the tracks are heavily auto-tuned, and the use of vocal effects is quite overpowering at points. In fact, the entire chorus of the third song, Infuriata, is almost completely unintelligible due to it being so heavily distorted. Most of these effects are unnecessary too. The lead singer has a good voice to carry the tracks. If you need to change for a section, just get him to sing it differently. Don't run it through a filter.
It's the glow on my phone from a brand new vibration, and the numbers alone in a new combination. Sorry for the follow, unfollow. I'll be on my best behavior by tomorrow. Every time I cancel you, I just wanna dance, so I just wanna dance with you. Every time I cancel you, I just wanna dance, so I just wanna dance with you.
I suppose if I had to recommend We Are OFK to anyone, I'd struggle to even know where to start. I think that's the game's biggest issue. I've generally no idea who the game is aimed at. Is it aimed at visual novel fans? Because there's not enough substance to the story to keep it going for the 5 and a bit hours, and only half the characters are really interesting. Is it aimed at gamer fans? Well, there's so little gameplay here that it could have been released as a web series and you wouldn't have to change anything. Is it aimed at fans of the music? You likely won't have heard any of the music before playing the game, and it costs considerably more than a standard EP or LP. We Are OFK is a title that will end up being defined by its missed opportunities rather than anything it actually achieved. And this is a shame, as there's a wealth of good ideas here, and with the superb art style, banging music, solid sound design and great voice acting, those ideas had an excellent platform to jump off from. Get it if it seems like something you'd be interested in. It's a genuinely new take on EPs and visual novels, and does deserve a look. But I just can't help to think that it all could have been so much more.
You're so strong, Itsumi. You're allowed to take a break and not be okay for a second.
Thank you. Yeah, that second is now.